Hi, this is Steph, the ancient medic again. So that's my EMT patch. That's my paramedic. You can't really see it, but paramedic is in like fluorescent orange with the Pennsylvania patch. Every state has their own. But anyway, and I just want anyone to know that watches my videos, which isn't many people, but if you do, I sit down and I do these off the cuff. I like something will pop into my head and I think, ooh, I should throw a video up about that. And so they're not like rehearsed or this is just completely off the top of my head. But I wanted to address two things quickly if I can. And I know I always say that and I rattle on forever. But first of all, I have complex regional pain syndrome. It's an autoimmune neurological disorder. Took me 5.5 years to get that diagnosed. And like eight or more doctors, including orthopedics, family doctors, um, just a complete nightmare medical merry-go-round that you can get on, but you just can't seem to get off. 5.5 years. And if I had not persisted, I would still be sitting here not knowing why my knee is still swollen and why I just have general, all kinds of crazy symptoms and things. So, I know over um, certain last few years that research kind of became a dirty word, like, oh, well, you're not credentialed to research. I'm literate. I can read. I can look things up. Nobody can tell me that I cannot research. And there are various definitions of that word, because I've had so many people say, well, what are your credentials that you research? It's like I'm not publishing papers. I'm reading other people's research. That's why they publish it. My cats are fighting. Sorry, kind of a three-ring circus here. But, research is either like researching things and then publishing about it, or, if anyone went to high school or college, I'm sure you had a research paper to do. You had to sit down and research. I mean, back in my day, that was like basically encyclopedias and going to the library and looking for books on, whatever you were writing about. And that's research. But, you know, the crazy thing is, I had swan neck deformities. And I'm going to show you here. If you're queasy, you might want to look away. But also, this took me over 5 years to find a surgeon who understood what the problem was in my hand. I had already looked it up. I was a paramedic. I was not taught about finger deformities, but you know what? I got on the computer and I typed in finger deformities or finger contractures or, whatever I put in there. And they popped up and I looked at the pictures and I compared them to my fingers and I went, okay, that is a swan neck deformity. Then I read to see what causes them, which is typically tendon issues. Not hard. But apparently, these surgeons who have gone to school for a bazillion years and they're supposed to be so much smarter than the rest of us. And, what do I know because I just had EMTP behind my name? Um, really makes me angry. But I'm telling you, if you have something, if you're not being diagnosed or whatever, um, especially if you have a chronic pain issue, I do have a video up. Please go watch that. If need be, reach out to me. Um, I think I had my email. I gave my email on that video. Um, I I am more than happy to try to help anyone who is going round and round and round trying to get a diagnosis because I've been there and know what it's like. But anyway, finally, isn't that pretty? Finally, found a surgeon who, when he walked in the room the first time, looked at my fingers and said, "Well, those are swan necks, and those are caused by tendon issues." And I said, "Yes. Oh my goodness. They're a little swollen. Stitches come out tomorrow, thankfully. But what a swan neck is, and you can kind of see it in this finger. This middle joint goes down. For some reason, this one has movement. I have no idea why. I need to ask him tomorrow. But this middle joint will go downward. Then this joint will go up, and the fingertip will go down. Okay, and mine were fused. So like my fingers were stuck like this for over 5 years, and couldn't find anyone, you know, to go, oh, let me look at some pictures on a computer and see which way your joints are going, because there's only there's like Dupuytren, boutonniere, swan neck. Might be one other. I'm not really sure. But like I said, I was never trained in these because people usually aren't calling for a paramedic because they have a finger deformity, especially when it's been chronic or what. But God. But anyway, so I'm not a religious person, but if you are, even just want to send some good thoughts my way. I've been working really hard in PT, and of course, these just got swollen today, and I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. But I've been bending, and she's been bending, and I've been working these and doing all my home exercises and sitting here with an ice pack. And anyway, so much about my fingers. But the point of that whole rant was do your own research. If you need to get 5, 6, 7, 5,000 second opinions, do it. Well, I guess that wouldn't be second opinions, but whatever. But, keep pushing on, man, because I'm telling you, this medical system we have is horrible. And I hate to say that because I came from it. So did my parents. My father was a doctor. My mother was an RN. Um, and I was working. I cared about my patients. I went to great lengths, to talk to their families, to make sure they had enough pillows, that they were warm enough or cool enough, what have you. I, you know, and nowadays I come out of sometimes of doctors' offices just fuming like a lunatic. Everyone in the waiting room just looking like, oh, look at the crazy woman. She's just losing her mind. Yeah, I do. Because I have a big mouth and I use it, and I don't care who it offends or who gets upset, because when I have righteous anger, because I've been gaslighted, whatever, or I've just been dismissed, or I've been treated like, I have munchausen's, or I am an attention seeker. I've never once asked for a pain med, and I don't take any, and I don't want any. This is the crazy thing. Like, I don't go in there, I don't have any of the attributes of an attention seeker or hypochondriac or whatever. I'm going to have physical things that you can actually see. And obviously, the surgeon who did this, didn't just do it because, like, well, let's just cut open your fingers, and obviously he sliced them end to end. Whereas the first time I had surgery, the doctor put a little tiny incision on the inside of this finger, about this much, and a tiny little incision right below the finger, right there. And even when I saw this surgeon, I could tell by the look on his face, he was thinking like, I have no idea what that surgeon was trying to accomplish, because your tendons are in here. They're not like over here on the edge. And tendons, ligaments. I always get these. BLT with Mayo. Bones, ligaments, tendons, muscles. So the tendons connect the muscle to the bone. And the ligaments connect bone to bone. BL. I came up with that acronym because I could never remember tendons and ligaments. And I was sitting in paramedic school one night, and all of a sudden, BLT with Mayo popped into my head. I have no idea why these things just pop into my head. And I hit the girl that was sitting beside me, and I went, BLT with Mayo. And she went, like, just looked at me like, have you lost your mind? And then I went, oh, I said bones, ligaments, tendons, tendons, muscle. And then I went on to explain why I could never remember that. And that little acronym just popped into my head, and I was all excited because I had a way to remember it now. But anyway, point is, doctors will give you a runaround. If they don't know what's wrong with you, they're not going to admit that for the most part. They're just going to gaslight you and say, oh, it's anxiety, or, yeah, anxiety is making your fingers bend in positions like, try to bend this middle knuckle right here. Try to bend it downward. You can't do it. You just can't. I mean, you can bend that one like that, but this one, you can't make that one go downward. And yet they will treat you like it's all in your head, and you just want to take these people's heads and bang them off their desk. Not sound violent, because I'm not, but I mean, it's very frustrating. But anyway, moral of the story is keep on keeping on, because eventually, I mean, overall, in general, I don't have anything good to say about the medical profession anymore. I really wish if we really had a healthcare system in this country than I think actual health products like supplements and whatnot. Homeopathic remedies should be covered by your insurance. Naturopathic doctors should be, you should be allowed to make choices and not have it strictly be allopathic, petroleum based pharmaceuticals that are dangerous, that are toxic. Um, and I'm not saying they're all bad. They're not. I used them. I was grateful to have them in the back of an ambulance. Some of them were life saving. But I'm just saying, you should have more choices and more options. And the trust in our medical system is very, very low right now, as it should be. Um, but in order, you know, surgery is necessary sometimes. I mean, all the natural medicine and unless I went to like some voodoo doctor or something, was not going to fix tendons that were torn or what have you. Um, and emergency rooms are necessary uh, and life saving. And I'm not trying to bash just medicine across the board because I was part of that system and it's just that there has been this shift in last, I'd say more than just last couple years, but just the last couple decades really, because I used to be out and about and talk to people and I'd be like, I don't know what it is, but I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's like society is just not the same anymore, and people would go, yeah, I know what you mean, and I can't really put my finger on it either, but it's just people have become callous and uncaring. There's like no empathy. There's no compassion in the medical field. And again, I'm not general. I'm not saying absolutely everybody. I just found a new family doctor. She seems very, very nice, but she is a DO. I've always preferred DOs over MDs. Um, and the surgeon who did my hand was very, very nice. And unfortunately, they're just part of an overall corrupted system, which is very unfortunate. But anyway, I have to go let my dog in, and I was going to make this about two different subjects, and it slipped my mind what the other part was. So I'm going to go let her in. I'm going to exit out of there. I'm going to end this one and get my thoughts together, and then I'm going to record the other one and put that up. But please reach out to me if you're frustrated. I have a lot of um, what's the word I'm looking for? Brain fart. Uh, um, I have a lot of websites I can send you to. I have a lot of um, books and different herbal remedies or natural remedies that I use, and I have a lot of information I can pass on and try to help someone. I mean, I'm not a medical professional anymore, and I'm just saying, person to person, I can maybe give you some avenues to try, or some things to check out for yourself. I'm not offering the medical advice. I'm just saying what I use for myself and the things that I do. But most importantly, I am sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, don't do your own research. You're not qualified." That's BS. I did research in high school and college to write papers. And like I said, research is published for a reason. It's so that people can read it. And you don't have to be a doctor or another scientist to read published research. It's out there, it's published, it's public knowledge, it's there to be read. And I'm not saying that all research, you have to know how to read research because a lot of it's bunk. So, they always talk about like the big journals. They're probably the ones you want to stay away from. But anyway, I just wanted to go on a little rant and tell you that it can get very frustrating with the medical field, especially if you have something that the doctors just don't know what to do with you. They will gaslight you. They will make you feel like an idiot. You're not. And you need to take the bull by the horns, take responsibility, do the research. And if you need to, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help anyone with anything with the resources that I have. Okay. And I wish you all well. And please wish me well. Get the stitches out tomorrow. Hopefully the swelling goes down. I am getting movement for the first time in over 5 years. My fingers are actually bending. It's a little hard right now because they're really super swollen, but they didn't even do they didn't even do that much. So I'm like really thrilled. So that's it. That's my rant for today. Thank you. Best to anyone out there who's suffering, and please don't suffer alone. Reach out to me if you need a friend. Okay? Thank you. Bye.